Hello, my name is Molly. I just turned 32 years old. I work in the IT industry and primarily earn a steady income working remotely from home. I work full-time basically 5 days a week, and my monthly salary is about $2,700 or so. Currently, I'm somewhat satisfied with my lifestyle and income. The reason I work so hard is that I have a deep reason behind it. The biggest motivation is to own my dream newly built house. The house I grew up in was an old one in the countryside, and its decay was a complex of mine for a long time. That's why building and living in a new house has been my dream for many years. A major turning point to realize this dream was when I met a wonderful person named Ethan through a friend's introduction.
A new house, especially a single-family home with a garden, sounds great. Actually, I've always dreamed of living in a house I designed and built. Want to chase that dream together?
Do you really feel that way? That's truly a relief, and I'm filled with gratitude. After a brief period of dating, we got engaged in 6 months. We combined our savings and secured a down payment for our new house, and started the important process of home building. From selecting the right home builder, deciding on the house design, applying for a loan, to the start and completion of construction, it was a challenging yet enjoyable year. Finally, we were able to make our dream a reality and acquired the newly built house we had long desired. The house was filled with our memories and hopes, and every day was full of happiness. However, this happiness was short-lived as a new issue arose. The problem was that our new home was built near Ethan's parents' house. As a result, Ethan's parents started visiting us frequently without notice. One day, while I was relaxing and drinking coffee during my work, the doorbell suddenly rang. When I checked the intercom,
Hello, Molly. I was in the neighborhood for a bit and thought I'd stop by.
A newly built house is really something.
the fresh air and new house smell, it's wonderful. Surprisingly, behind Ethan's parents, there were 6 familiar children. Ranging in age from a 3-year-old toddler to a 9-year-old elementary school student. There were 4 boys and 2 girls. I was surprised that they suddenly came into our house.
Actually, these are the children of our eldest and second daughters. We were taking care of them, but something urgent came up, and we can't look after them at our place anymore.
Molly, I know it's a lot to ask, but could you take care of the kids for a bit? Could you handle lunch and bath time for them too?
Wait, what? This is so sudden. I had unfinished work, and I had only stocked up food for myself. I was also preparing for an important meeting in the afternoon. It felt honestly challenging to suddenly take care of so many people. I quickly rescheduled my work, took a deep breath, and asked my in-laws to help procure meals and snacks. But they declined, saying,
We've been running around all day and are exhausted.
In the end, I had to pay for all the shopping from my pocket money. Not only that, I had to go through the hassle of cooking. After dinner, my in-laws and their grandchildren quickly left our home. When Ethan came home, I detailed the day's events and expressed my frustrations. It's unimaginable to have so many people come over without notice. I couldn't get any work done, and I'm exhausted.
Calm down. It's not a big deal. It's just a minor incident.
What? It's hard to stay calm. Have you considered the impact if this was a crucial period for my work? The house is a mess.
But you helped my sister and parents. Isn't that what matters? Your work turned out okay, and we can clean the house together.
Of course, I strongly feel that I want to support everyone as family. I believe I have a stronger desire than anyone to go all out for my family. However, I can't always be flexible. In our daily lives and work, there are things we can and cannot do. It's hard to cope with sudden requests. It would help if you could let me know a little earlier when you need support.
I get it. But situations like this might happen again. Maybe we should stock up on more snacks and drinks just in case.
That's not the answer I was looking for. Deep down, I wanted Ethan to understand my feelings and situation. I hoped he would speak to my in-laws on my behalf and ask them to inform us in advance next time. But that expectation fell flat, and I increasingly felt that Ethan's attitude towards me was becoming cold. 2 weeks after the unexpected visit, my in-laws knocked on our door once again, bringing all 6 grandchildren with them.
Thanks for your hard work, Mommy. We'd like to drop by again today.
Actually, both of our daughters have plans today, and we were wondering if you could help with the kids' bath and dinner like last time.
It's a bit sudden to make such a request. As a result, I had to interrupt my plans and work again. I could feel the anger boiling inside me. I wonder if they ever consider how busy I am with work. I was so focused on moving forward with my tasks. Now I faced the daunting task of catching up, which I wanted to avoid at all costs. I was truly frustrated with the situation. I had my schedule planned out, but now it's been thrown off track. The 6 little visitors ran freely around my house, from the living room to the bedroom and kitchen, bouncing around and making noise non-stop. My home must have felt like a playground to them. When I raised my voice and said,
Calm down.
they ran to mother-in-law and began to complain about me. They acted very spoiled, and mother-in-law seemed to indulge them.
Auntie, we don't like this.
Auntie, you're mad.
Andy, you won't play with us.
Molly, you shouldn't get so angry. It's just childlike behavior. An adult should be more composed. People without children wouldn't understand. Think about it. Maybe your narrow-mindedness is affecting your family planning with Ethan. You should reflect on it.
Facing such an illogical tirade, I could hardly stand it. Although I was boiling inside, I tried to remain outwardly calm. By the end of the day, the house was even messier than before. I felt like all the time and effort I had spent tidying up had gone to waste.
What happened here? Please clean up this mess quickly.
He looked tired, but then so was I. In-laws, along with their 6 grandchildren, had left just a little while ago. Despite their cheerful faces, I felt completely drained inside.
It feels like dinner preparation hasn't progressed in the kitchen for a while now. Can't you be a bit more attentive? We're married. I think you could do at least that much.
Just because we're married, you think you can demand anything? I didn't marry you just to be a house helper or to look after kids.
Don't get mad. No need to raise your voice. We don't even have kids yet. I'm contributing to the family, and I think it'd be nice if you showed some appreciation. They rely on us.
But don't you find it odd to leave everything to me? It's clear that your parents don't help me. I'm juggling work and household chores, and on top of that taking care of the kids. I don't appreciate the attitude.
I don't feel that way. Isn't that what married women typically do? I'd appreciate it if you'd cooperate without complaining.
His aloof demeanor made it clear he had no interest in continuing the conversation. Without even glancing at the mess in the room, he headed straight to his own room. I had never seen such a cold attitude from him before. I wished he could understand, even a little, the burdens and emotions I felt as his wife. As days passed, I increasingly felt my heart distancing from Ethan. The sensation began subtly, but grew stronger day by day. After dinner, Ethan took a bath and without saying a word to me, hurriedly went to his room. Lately, such nights were becoming more frequent, and even our bedtime schedules were becoming asynchronously. The couple time we once looked forward to felt like a distant past. Looking at the room left messy by the kids, I began cleaning with my exhausted body. Tears of sorrow dripped from my eyes as I cleaned. The mess the kids made in our new home, and the chilling relationship with Ethan, were situations I hadn't imagined when we first got married. Wiping away my tears, I mentally assessed the situation, feeling the urgency to take some action. The stress from work, the discord at home. If left unchecked, our daily life itself might become untenable. I suspected there was a reason behind Ethan's recent change in behavior. To understand the background, I considered consulting an expert, and if the situation continues, requesting a detailed investigation. Prioritizing my feelings and thoughts led to the gradual calmness, returning to my troubled heart. Deep down, I resolved to confront future interactions with my in-laws and grandchildren. About 3 weeks after the last visit, on a clear morning, my in-laws and cheerful grandchildren unexpectedly visited our home again. The doorbell rang, and in between, I could hear the children's gleeful voices and laughter. The front of our house was bustling, feeling like a small amusement park.
Molly, you can hear me, right? It's hot. So can you prepare some tea?
We're here again, Molly. The kids can't seem to stay still outside. Please get ready for dinner and a bath.
Excuse me, but who are you two? Through the intercom, after I asked seriously, a brief silence ensued, followed by a surprised laugh. What was so funny?
Who are we? Stop kidding around, Molly.
Did you forget about us? Now, open the door.
Sorry, but I can't just let people I don't know into my home.
You don't know us. That's not funny. We're your in-laws?
Why would you say something like that?
Actually, Ethan and I had discussions many times. My decision to end our marriage was not impulsive but deeply considered. I see no reason to continue our relationship with you. Please understand and refrain from visiting in the future. While they raised their voices outside the door, I maintained my calm and continued working. Eventually, their voices faded, and it seemed they left after about 30 minutes. The outside noise vanished. Late into the night, Ethan came home much later than usual. Judging from his demeanor, he probably had some exchanges with his family at his parents' house. He looked at me with a grim expression.
Why did you do that? You knew my parents, nieces, and nephews were coming over, right? Why didn't you let them in? And talk of divorce. Are you serious about that?
I am serious. I've been troubled and pondered about it for a long time. I've concluded that our lifestyles and values don't align. I can't have you or your family disrupting my daily life anymore. Then, I spread out the incriminating photos I had collected beforehand on the table. Seeing them, Ethan turned pale and looked utterly shocked. The photos clearly captured Ethan walking downtown hand in hand with a woman I didn't recognize, looking happy. Furthermore, the two were photographed heading into what looked like an upscale hotel and emerging some time later with smiles on their faces. Recently, I've been uneasy due to your late nights and strange behavior. So, I hired a private investigator. These photos are the result. Now, do you understand why I'm considering divorce? Do you get how I feel?
Let's calm down for a moment, Michelle. Can we sit down and talk things over seriously?
You've done this and you don't even seem to feel sorry in front of me. What kind of discussion are you expecting?
I'm really sorry. It was just a temporary lapse in judgment.
But that lapse deeply hurt me. Ethan's face was a mix of shock and fear. I had come prepared for this moment, bringing along a divorce document already filled out in detail. Now, sign your name here. If you refuse, I'm ready to take legal action immediately.
Molly, please reconsider.
But when I firmly reiterated my statement, Ethan hesitated for a moment before filling out the necessary fields on the document.
Is this what will satisfy you? If you truly feel this way, I'll accept the divorce. But please, let me say one thing.
What is it?
It's about this house. I'm attached to this place. I don't intend to give it up.
You can rest easy on that. I no longer find meaning in continuing to live here. However, I expect proper compensation from you and the woman you cheated with. Keep that in mind. After conveying those words, I returned to my room and resumed the packing I had started in preparation for my departure. The next morning, I went to the city hall and proceeded with the divorce procedures. Thanks to the smooth progress of the mutual divorce, I was able to start my new life. A few weeks later, I signed a contract for an affordable apartment near downtown and began my new life. With the alimony I received from Ethan and his associates, I never faced any financial difficulties. However, one day, I received a sudden message from Ethan. There was a panicked tone in his voice, and he seemed to be asking for help.
Actually, I'm currently living with my parents, and lately, we've been tight on money.
Weren't you supposed to have sold your family home?
I did sell it, but my savings have diminished a lot due to living expenses and several payments. Can you help out in any way?
I pondered for a moment and then understood his situation. His parents were living on their pensions, and as I knew, the sale price of the family home wasn't that high. He also had to pay me alimony, which must have depleted his savings considerably. When I was working, my income also went into our joint account, but now it was just Ethan's salary. It must be difficult to cover the house mortgage, car loan, and other daily expenses with just Ethan's income. Regarding the house loan, how about adjusting the monthly repayments and paying more during the bonus season? Have you talked to the bank about this?
That might be a good idea, but I'm unsure about how to convey this to the bank and how much the monthly repayment should be.
You should make those decisions on your own. We're divorced now, so you need to stand on your own 2 feet without relying on me. Frustrated with Ethan's dependent attitude, I raised my voice unintentionally. Perhaps sensing the shift in my emotions, I didn't hear from Ethan after that. Amidst these quiet days, exactly 1 year after our divorce, a message with Ethan's name appeared on my smartphone. He proposed to meet at a popular cafe in the city. On the day of our meeting, I went to the cafe and looked for him amidst the crowd. The moment I spotted him, I was lost for words. Unlike the healthy Ethan I remembered, he looked considerably thinner, and there was a certain shadow over his face.
Actually, I had no choice but to sell the precious house in the end. It's very hard, but it became too hard to maintain on my own.
I see. But, for how much were you able to sell it?
You might guess, but the selling price was lower than I expected. Probably because my nephews and nieces would come over often and leave the house in a mess.
Listening to him, I imagined the state of the house after we left. The beautiful house we lived in probably lost its luster due to daily wear and tear and the kids. Under those circumstances, extensive renovations would be challenging, and getting a high selling price was tough. Additionally, after refusing to let the children visit, my relationship with my sisters deteriorated. Furthermore, my father-in-law's health has been deteriorating, and he eventually had to be placed in a care facility. So, are you now living with your mother-in-law in a new place?
Actually, I found an affordable apartment in a quiet area in the city and started a new life with my mother. Considering monthly rent and living expenses, it's quite tough on just my salary. So, my mother is looking for local jobs and has started working at a small cleaning company to help out. It seems hard for her to start working in a new place in her late 60s, especially since she's always been a homemaker.
From Ethan's words, I learned that my former mother-in-law found a cleaning job in the area and courageously started working. Many people would find it challenging to start something new at her age, but I deeply respect her bravery.
Molly, I deeply apologize. I know it's hard to ask considering our past, but can we reconsider our relationship? I promise from the bottom of my heart, this time I'll strive to be a better husband.
I'm sorry, Ethan. My life is on a new path now, and I can't think of getting back together. We've already closed that chapter of our relationship. Please don't contact me anymore. I believe this will be our last conversation, and it's for the best. Goodbye. Afterwards, I settled the bill there and then and slowly walked out of the store. Although David was looking down, he kept watching me walk away. However, he did not chase after me. Later, I received some unexpectedly good news from my family home. A major company had made an offer to buy our family's land and the old house on it. It turns out that this land is strategically located for a new large-scale factory project they are planning, making it indispensable to them. This unexpected turn of events left me both surprised and delighted. Despite our home aging and deteriorating over the years, it seems there's a potential for a lucrative sale. In the future, I plan to discuss the design of a new house in detail with my parents. Thanks to the substantial funds, we might be able to incorporate facilities and designs that we could only dream of before. Once the new house is completed, as the next step, I'm also hoping to find the ideal partner. I strongly wish to continue living each day to the fullest, keeping a positive mindset.